This map shows a continent trapped in a perpetual stalemate. For thousands of years, 7 distinct kingdoms fought endlessly over the same shifting borders. The sheer landmass and army parity meant no ruler could amass enough strength. Every advance met an equal counterattack. With power balanced so evenly across such a vast geography, traditional conquest had reached a permanent stalemate. Breaking the gridlock would require a shift in the nature of warfare itself. The solution came from an outsider. Aegon Targaryen ruled a tiny volcanic island off the eastern coast. His family were the last surviving dragon lords of Valyria, an ancient empire that had collapsed years earlier. Aegon commanded an asset no Westerosi king could counter: 3 fully grown dragons. These creatures allowed him to bypass defensive lines and project devastating aerial power across the entire continent. When he launched his invasion, Aegon issued a simple, binary ultimatum to the lords of the continent. Kneel, swear loyalty, and retain your lands, or fight and face dragonfire. The invasion now rested on a single question. Could an unmatched aerial weapon force 7 warring nations to abandon their autonomy and merge into one? Up to this point, medieval Westerosi defense relied on massive stone fortifications. Harren the Black, ruler of the Riverlands, tested this doctrine by retreating inside Harrenhal, the largest and most heavily fortified castle ever constructed. He assumed thick walls meant safety. He was wrong. Aegon flew his massive mount, Balerion, directly over the walls. The dragon unleashed a torrent of heat so intense that it melted the stone towers, killing Harren and his line inside. Recognizing that castles were now death traps, the kings of the Reach and the Westerlands changed tactics. They merged their armies, putting tens of thousands of soldiers on the march in hopes of overwhelming the invaders through sheer numbers. On a massive open plain, they met the Targaryen forces, but Aegon deployed all 3 of his dragons simultaneously. Flames swept across the battlefield, instantly neutralizing the infantry advantage. Thousands perished in the inferno. King Mern Gardner died, ending his ancient dynasty. King Loren Lannister survived and promptly surrendered his crown. In a single campaign, Aegon's dragons had dismantled the 2 pillars of Westerosi defense, the high wall and the heavy infantry. Yet one kingdom exposed the limitations of this immense power. To the south, the desert region of Dorne flatly refused to engage Aegon on his terms. They never formed massive armies for the dragons to burn, and they emptied their fortresses before the Targaryens arrived to melt them. Instead, the Dornish utilized their harsh terrain, launching quick guerrilla strikes and fading back into the sands. This asymmetric warfare exacted a heavy toll. During one assault, the Dornish fired a massive iron scorpion bolt into the sky. It struck the dragon Meraxes squarely in the eye, bringing the beast crashing down and killing Aegon's sister wife, Rhaenys. This bloody stalemate stands in sharp contrast to the north. When King Torrhen Stark marched south and witnessed the sheer scale of Aegon's surviving forces, he quickly assessed the new reality. He chose to kneel, giving up his crown to spare his people from the flames. Aegon's dragons could incinerate a castle or an army, but as the region of Dorne proved, they couldn't burn away the will of a people who refused to stand and fight. With 6 kingdoms secured and Dorne remaining stubbornly independent, Aegon realized that relying purely on military might and fear had reached its absolute ceiling. He shifted from military commander to state builder. Instead of eradicating the defeated noble houses and installing his own foreign governors, Aegon kept the existing regional lords in power, integrating them into a hierarchy